All right, good morning, good morning. Hope you're well, wherever you are, whatever the damn time. Today, we're going to be doing a full day of eating. We are now 3 days out from show number 4 of the season. And I thought, you know what? Let me show you what I'm eating between shows. I think it'd be good to also discuss how to manage things between shows as well, and just how I've been feeling after the WMBF as well, which was an amazing day, an amazing show. And yeah, we are about to have meal number 1. I've already had my morning supplements. I've got a coffee on hand. My morning supplements today involved vitamin D3 and K2, vitamin C, a multivitamin. We got HR Labs water for some hydration this morning. I have ran out of glutamine and I've also ran out of my omega-3s, which I need to get omegas. But if you want to pick up some supplements, use my code on Full Ball Sports to get yourself some discount. But we're about to have meal number 1, which is going to be pretty much the only carb meal of the day and the heaviest carb meal because it's going to be my pre-workout meal. And you will probably notice this as well if you're going through a diet or you're going through a contest prep, is when you get deeper into that prep, you get hungrier, you're on less food. You can eat a good amount of food very close to when you train. Now that'll obviously change in an off season, but in a contest prep, the gap can be pretty small. And for myself as well, I found that not only physically does having a good amount of carbohydrates pre-workout for me help, or all of my carbs on certain days help pre-workout physically, but also mentally as well. It's quite the boost. To me, it's quite the difference. It's just the difference today with what I was doing previously to take off a bit more body fat was I was also having a good amount of carbs post-workout as well. So today the macros they're pretty low. It's about 135 grams of carbs today with 55 grams of fat and 240 grams of protein. So for me, who is 96, 97 kilos on stage, that's not a lot of food. It's just shy of 2,000 calories. But I'm looking forward to this first meal. This next show is going to be Italy, and we fly to Italy tomorrow. It's actually an afternoon flight, but we get to Bologna at about 7 p.m. We've got ourselves a car. We rented a little Peugeot for Italy. I wanted to get a full Italian car. I wanted to get an Alfa Romeo, or even a Fiat, but the Alfa Romeo was a little bit too expensive. So we went with the Peugeot instead. Registration is on the Friday, and then the show is on the Saturday afternoon. I'm going to be in bodybuilding heavyweight, and it's an interesting one because after the WMBF, I was honestly contemplating just finalizing my season there because I'd achieved what I wanted to achieve this year with prepping myself, winning an overall, winning a pro card, which, by the way, the most prestigious natural bodybuilding federation, or the most recognized one globally. And I was thinking to myself, why do I need to further extend my season? My body has been showing signs that it's all right, Elliot, you're taking the piss a bit now. I want to improve to be a really good pro. But I had a discussion with B, and I want to extend the season. I want to finish what I set out to do. And in doing that as well, I also want to see if I can improve on the look that I brought to my previous shows for the Italy show, because again, I did want to compete abroad, and also the PCA finals as well, because I have qualified. I did win the overall for that show, which was my first show of the season. And that's really the goal. The goal now is to focus mainly on that PCA final show, because in terms of fat loss, I'm not going to get a ridiculous amount done between now and Saturday, right? But I know that I can look significantly better for the PCA finals. With Italy, I won't really peak. I might have a bit more food or a decent amount of carbs the night before, and then just manage to look on show day. I'm already in stage condition, and I think I already have a look that will be competitive as a heavyweight. I hope so anyway. I hope I get a look. I think I can definitely, if I keep food relatively low and just keep pushing a bit harder all the way through until I get to peak week for the PCA finals, I think I can bring something really good there, and it'll be amazing to get a PCA Pro card as well, especially for a federation where I really enjoyed their setup, how they ran their show day. So that's the aim. Over the course of really the next week, my season finishes in 11 days. So yeah, and I mean, you'll be surprised what you can achieve when you don't eat a lot of carbohydrates for a week. So yeah, we're going to push ourselves and go all in and close out the season strong with the PCA finals, which will involve me staying in Wolverhampton I'll just get an Airbnb for a night. And yeah, that's how the season's going to close out. I can't believe that this season is done in 11 days. So that'll be 251 days contest prep. My God. So yeah, anyway, meal number one is a big bowl of oats. It's a big old bowl of oats with whey protein. I believe it's also going to involve some raisins, and it's also going to involve some dark chocolate as well before my pool session today. One of the challenges between shows is definitely training and managing that. Your training between shows will just look so different in comparison to leading into potentially your first show. When I say between shows, I mean when your shows are back to back. For me at the minute, it's don't get hurt. That's the objective. Don't injure yourself. Don't put yourself in a hole where it's going to take you days to recover and it's due to scale, etc. There is no logbook also at this point, and it's just a necessary thing that needs to be done for me anyway. I know there's people that will have their own method, but for me, that's what works really well. One thing I've noticed with doing back-to-back shows is just how taxing it is on the body with regards to posing and just squeezing my glutes every 5 seconds and twisting at my hips, internal rotation, and twisting at the torso a lot. It beats your body up quite a bit. And then obviously between those shows, you're doing a lot of posing practice. You're doing multiple rounds throughout the day. So I think if you combine that, for me personally, if I combine that with training where I bury myself, my body will just break down, and then I've got to spend so long getting out of that hole once my season's done. Training's not the most fun, and it's not a style of training that attracted me to the process of bodybuilding in the first place, but it's just what needs to be done right now, just to make sure that I stay intact for the last stint of this prep. By the way, Naughty Boy made the best whey. He made the best whey. It tastes so good. It's so good. You won't get me making a whey paste, but it's so good. They nail the flavors. Perform is cool. The flavors of Perform are pretty decent, but the quality's not really there. I don't think the quality's the same. Trained by JP, Naughty Boy. I don't think you need another protein, to be honest. I think those two are like at the top of the game. I think the only way that they get topped is if Liam at HR Labs makes a protein powder. I think that's the only way that those two get topped. Because HR Labs, again, is another company that just doesn't make filler products or low quality products. And you can tell. I'm going to get this meal finished, and then I will show you what I'm working with for meal number one, the pre-workout meal. Meal one then is 125 grams of oats, big bowl of oats, and you know how I get some prep with oats. They're the best. We have 45 grams of whey protein with 10 grams of dark chocolate, 90%, and then 15 grams of raisins, 3 grams of salt, some sweet cinnamon on top. This is going to be the pre-workout meal and pretty much where the carbs are coming from today. So today is a big day. And the only reason this meal is this large is because I'm training. If it was a rest day, this meal would probably be zero carb because I'd probably be getting into some work afterwards, and carbs first thing in the morning definitely not going to make me the most productive. So this is going to go down, and then post-workout we have an unconventional source of carbohydrate, but again it's just to give me a little bit of volume, and then yeah, it's pretty much just protein and fats for the rest of the day. Yeah, I'll see you once I'm back from the gym. Yo, back from the gym, and we have the post-workout meal, which is a little bit unconventional, as I said, but we have 20 grams of popcorn with 250 grams raw weight chicken with 150 grams of cooked weight broccoli with 15 grams of Dijon mustard. I need to get my salt as well, actually, to make sure that this meal is salted. But popcorn, you're probably familiar with Greg Doucette harping on about popcorn, and for good reason. Extremely high in volume. This is only 20 grams of popcorn. It's like 14 grams of carbs. Not a lot of carbohydrate whatsoever. Obviously, I've got a bowl of popcorn here. Like yesterday, I actually had 60 grams of popcorn, and it gave me like a mixing bowl of popcorn. So definitely worth it in terms of just bang for your buck when it comes to dieting. Also pretty high in fiber because it's basically a seed. Yeah, popcorn, use it in a contest prep. It is helpful if you are struggling with hunger. I wanted to have this meal post-workout specifically because post-workout is where I struggle with hunger the most, and then it just tapers off massively. So as soon as I eat this, I'll be pretty hungry. I'll curb that probably with a Pepsi Max, get on with some work, stay busy, and then get on with the rest of the day. But this is meal number 2, guys. I got some client work to get on with, some editing to get on with, and sorting out some stuff for the Italy trip. So gonna make sure that I stay busy, keep my mind occupied throughout today, because I'm only human. I get hungry and I get tired too. So the training session, by the way, was pretty decent. Nothing groundbreaking. There's no logbooking involved, as I said before I went to the gym. Just get it done, feel the muscle, stimulate it, go home. Obviously, still continue to put in effort, but just don't get hurt. Don't do anything silly. I'll see you for meal number 3.
I'm back.
Work. Look where it is, guys. With her plan B post-workout meal, because plan A didn't work out so well. Homemade pastas. Yeah, that looks good. Meal 3, right here. We have 4 bacon medallions, 2 whole eggs, 15 grams of ketchup, and 1 kiwi for the next meal. And one of the things I wanted to discuss before I start eating this meal is management between shows. I mentioned about that when I started this video, and what you should do if you are doing back-to-back shows. And I made a post about this on Instagram, but essentially the most important thing is having that assessment after your show as to what was the reason that I didn't get the placing that I wanted, that I didn't look the way that I wanted. A lot of people assume it's conditioning. A lot of the time I'd say a lot of the time. Most of the time it is conditioning for people, but not everybody should be pushing for new lows between shows. So, for example, with myself, with the PCA show, the issue wasn't condition for me with that show. It was a lack of fullness. It was mismanagement of food on show day. It was a poor kind of peaking process, especially towards those final days. But I think I needed that to happen because it was the first peak that I'd gone through coaching myself. So for me then, after that process, to then just chase new lows immediately after that would have been silly. I actually went through a diet break after that. And looking at stage photos, you can see that I was super flat, but conditioning was not an issue. So you just have to make sure that you look at your stage photos, you look at comparisons, and you're like, okay, what was the actual issue here? Was it conditioned? If so, yeah, cool, push down again. If it wasn't though, where else could you improve? Was it your posing? It's funny actually looking at those photos from July and August as well, and how much flatter and smaller my physique looks. Without really that much change in condition, I actually look better now than I did in July, and it's just running a bit too flat. But you won't really notice that unless you have photos, unless you look at stage photos, and you actually look back in retrospect. So if you have back-to-back shows, so at the minute of this season, the main kind of UK federations, they're back-to-back at the minute, so it's like 3 or 4 shows in a row with the main UK natural federations. And not every single one of those shows requires a peak where you essentially take time away from fat loss. So if your issue was condition, if you've got a show and then your next show is a week later, but you've got a more important show like a British finals 2 weeks or 3 weeks after that, don't peak for that next regional show. It doesn't make any sense. You don't necessarily need to look your absolute best. The priority should still be fat loss. So, do you know what I mean?
And now he's a big boy. He looks like a big boy. You last show.
There's actually a photo that I saw online. I actually look pretty, that's nice, right? They've already seen that one. Oh, wow, it's quite good. Yeah, it's pretty good. Nice balance, nice flow. Whereas, yeah, that shot,
that thigh gap.
yeah, that shot in July and like late June was a lot stringier. Let me get a live reaction of Bees. Look at this photo. I look bubbly and my gut's not poking out either.
Yeah, usually in that relaxed position, you've got a beard there.
I worked on that midsection control. Let's get this meal in. I have a client call at 3, consult at 5, podcast with Adam at 7. Yeah, after I've had this meal, I'll start the process of packing some stuff.
I need to weigh the case.
But I'm also not going to be able to fully pack everything today for Italy because I still have things to do tomorrow because our flight isn't until
yeah, me
5
too,
to
like my skincare.
There you go. So
my hair stuff.
It's all right. Everything is organised. We're okay.
But I like to know that the case is in.
See you guys for meal number 4. Meal 4 is another. Did I eat chicken salad earlier? Yeah, I had chicken and broccoli earlier. So this is again meat. We got mince, 200 grams, raw weight, and then we've got 50 grams of broccoli, and then 50 grams of salad for this meal with 15 grams of ketchup and salt, 3 grinds, hasn't changed, black pepper.
Save me some cucumber.
Here we go.
Did you save me some cucumber?
Yeah, podcast with Adam at 7. We're going to do like a little bit of a wrap up on the WMBF show. And it'll probably be an interesting dynamic because I think Adam's on like half the food that I'm on right now. His food is low right now. I think he's on like 75 grams of carbs a day. We go. Might have to have another coffee before the podcast. Oh my God.
You took all the cucumber.
Oh my. I didn't. Have a look at the salad and look how much cucumber is in this bowl. There's literally one slice of cucumber in there. Yeah. You'll be all right. I'll buy you a brand new salad tomorrow.
I didn't think that there was a 2-bit salad.
So, yeah, podcast, then chill. Prison break this evening. As soon as she heard me say, I didn't even get to finish the sentence. She was like, what time, where, when, give me a time. But yeah, Prison Break season 2, which we got because I got an HDMI cable yesterday. So I can finally connect my laptop to the TV. And that is where, we watched Prison Break and I've got my last meal, which will be a Greek yogurt meal with dark chocolate and berries to finish the day. And then tomorrow when we fly, I'll literally just repeat this exact same day of food. Have a decent chunk more on the Friday, the day before. But obviously I'm not having as much food leading into this next show because the main target now is the PCA Naturals finals on the 28th. It feels weird to say that prep is over in 11 days.
You're
Yeah, I see you for the last meal of the day. Final meal of the day. Podcast filmed with Adam, which was good. We basically recapped the WMBF show, and that should actually be coming out tomorrow alongside this video too. I want to get this. In fact, I'll probably edit this tomorrow and schedule it for Friday. All whilst obviously filming in Italy, getting some clips filmed and whatnot, and getting the show filmed. But yeah, make sure this is obviously out before the show day on the Saturday. So we're moving on to my final meal of the day, which is going to be just Greek yogurt, whey, almond butter, and blueberries. We've got 50 grams of blueberries to go in here as well. And a little tip as well with your almond butter that I learned from James Hollingshead. This was recent. This was in one of his 4-day of eating videos. Is if you store your almond butter upside down, it basically stops. You know, at the end of your almond butter where it gets like clumpy and dry. If you just store it like that, you don't get that issue apparently. So, and it actually works. It actually does work. So we're also going to have 20 grams of almond butter with this meal. The calories of this meal is about 400 and something calories. Then basically just finish the rest of the packing tomorrow. I haven't packed quite a few things yet because I need to obviously eat and sort out some other stuff before we go tomorrow as well. So anyway, meal 5 of the day. Beautiful. That is a 4-day of eating on the lower food. And I was also saying to Adam, he almost, because he was feeling all right, his food is a lot lower than mine. His food is at the minute, like today's carbs were at 75 grams, which is obviously low, right? But I think because he's just used to doing that daily, whereas the way that I've been peaking between shows and on decent food for a while now, I'm almost not used to it again. Whereas back in July, August, I was kind of used to it. So, but anyway, I'm going to close out here. Like the video as always, and I'll see you in Italy.